Bearing children is a blessing for every family, but caring for those blessings can sometimes hinder the pursuit of life goals. Dr. Eleanor Araba Antwi faced this challenge when she had to pursue her master's degree to focus on nurturing her children.
I started at the University of Cape Coast. We missed that bit. As I mentioned that I read science. I started at the University of Cape Coast as a teaching assistant, and then as a teaching assistant, and then as a research assistant. Somewhere along the line, I realized I was in my field, so I moved into administration, and I left UCC as a principal admin assistant, straight to UDS, University for Development Studies in Tamale, because I had to join my husband. My husband was in the northern region then, so I got there by the grace of God. I was appointed into the senior membership position as an assistant registrar, and that is when my career as a university administrator actually started. Even as a senior member and as a university administrator, I do part-time teaching. Yes, so I'm a chartered professional administrator and chartered management consultant.
Oh, wow.
And then I do part-time teaching with them. There are some times I have to handle courses in Tamale for them.
Online or in person?
In person.
Ooh.
In person. The last topic I took them through was communication, effective communication. And then because I read education, I have that bit of education. Not that bit. I've been trained as a professional education administrator. And so once a while at UDS, I would go in as a supervisor for off-campus and on-campus teaching practice. So I do all these. Sometimes it's not easy. So I started the PhD program in 2018. And at the time I was leaving, baby last was 2 years. The boy was about 5 years, and the senior one was 8 years. And that was the first time. I remember when the flight was, we were landing, I started weeping, because that's the first time I had left the shores of Ghana. And that was the first time I was going to be away for a month. And I was feeling nauseous and all that, but purpose driven. I had to focus but my husband was there.
She sought help, bounced back, pursued her master's and PhD, and remains on track to achieve all she's planned for herself. The academic break, though, strengthened her bond with her children, one she will always cherish.
It's been marriage, career, schooling, and then my career also as a gospel musician. And the journey hasn't been easy.
Can imagine.
Has been good with profound memories, but has also been how would I describe it? Has also been a difficult one at the same time, especially when you have to manage the children. You have to pay attention to your work. You have to pay attention to your school, your studies, and then you have to pay attention to ministry. There are some programs I virtually have to go with the little one. Yeah. Sometimes I finish my administration and she's already sleeping on my lap. And I have to do it. Yeah. Because there's a call for both. I have to be a mother and I have to be a gospel musician. I have to be a mother, I have to be a career woman, a professional woman. I have to be a mother and I have to be a scholar. I have to study. I have to further my studies as well. So that is how marriage, parenting has been. But it's been a fruitful and a beautiful journey so far, and I don't regret any aspect of it.
As a goal-getter, Dr. Antwi refused to stay home to take care of the children. For her, bringing them along wherever she went was perfectly acceptable.
In 2023, where the deadlines were looming and there was so much pressure on me around that period, I had to submit my documents for promotion to the rank of deputy registrar, and that requires 10 minimum of 10 papers. For UDS, they require or request that you submit publications as well. So I submitted 4 publications, 2 technical papers, action memos, position papers. I submitted about 14 of them instead of a 10 because I wanted to be sure that I'm giving it to you and I wanted to earn that position. So I had that one to be completed, that deadline to be met. And at the same time, my supervisor was on me to submit my final PhD thesis in the same August. And there was so much pressure on me. There was so much pressure on me at that time. I remember that there were times when I closed from work, I sit by my computer in the evening at 6. In between, they will bring their homework because Daddy was working in Accra. So I was there with them alone. The senior one was in a boarding school in Accra. I was there with the 2 young ones. In between, they would bring their homework for me to check. But from 6 p.m., when I closed from work, to the following day, 6 a.m., I'll be by my computer, working on my thesis or fine-tuning my promotion documents. At 6 a.m., I would come out. Have you had your bath? Sometimes I wouldn't have prepared breakfast by then. I'll pick our bowls, put it in a basket with our sugar, everything. We'll just go and buy cocoa by the roadside. And then I'll drive them to school. So in the car, they will be taking their cocoa. I'll drop them off. Their school was just across UDS Street. So I'll drive to the car park, take my cocoa too, and then dress up, apply my makeup and everything in the car, get down. I'll go and continue. I haven't slept. Then I'll go and continue my work for the day.
But did you have energy for that?
I did. I had to beat that deadline. And then from the office, one of my sisters was managing a restaurant on the campus. So from the office, I'll just pick them. We'll just go to the restaurant, pick food there, and then go to the house. One of the days, in fact, that question hit me so hard. My second born, David, he asked me, Mommy, when are we going to eat food that you have prepared in the house? Because he was buying cocoa buying wache, and picking food from the restaurant for them. The time was, I didn't have the time on my hands, but I had to. So the PhD thesis is actually dedicated to my children. Again, I would say purpose and resilience and grace. I had to go through that. And I'm happy that I have grown into the woman you see today. I believe that with purpose, diligence, focus, and all that, you would be able to. We would get there as women.
After 17 years of marriage and toughing it out with childcare, Dr. Antwi recalls how she almost lost her life with every pregnancy.
I have a peculiar condition. So my pregnancies have really not been the skin glowing and just the cravings one. I have had to go or live with hyperemesis gravidarum. It's a condition that brings about frequent visits to the hospital. Nausea, spitting for 9 months, weight loss, and all that. And it really hasn't been a smooth one for me, especially having to combine it with work, with my career as a gospel musician, and all that. There's something interesting. At a point in time, one of the doctors asked me why my body rejects pregnancy like that. Because if you see me when I'm pregnant, you wouldn't want to be my friend. I look so slim. I look unhealthy with a small tummy and all that. I vomit for 9 months. Throughout pregnancy, 9 months.
Are you able to eat though?
I'm not able to eat. I'm always dehydrated. And so at most every 2 weeks I have to be admitted because they would have to replenish and replace the fluids I have lost. For the last one, for instance, in 2016, The infusion, I could count about 49. That is the ones I could see, because there were times I went off completely. And for that journey, after that one, I just decided that not again. Because 6 weeks into the pregnancy, in fact, the doctors nearly lost me that day. I think I passed out. My BP was high, my temperature was high. And then when I woke up, I was just in my panty with wet towels all over my. I think I had gone off for some hours, and they tried to revive me.
With 2 of the children in boarding school, the mother of 3 is pushing the career knob harder. Working now as a Deputy Registrar and Director of Human Resources at the University of Media Arts and Communication, UNIMAC, Dr. Eleanor Araba Antwi is also in the studio recording songs.
Initially, we would do it because of the passion we had. But with time, I realized that it's a whole calling and a ministry.
Okay.
Music is soothing, I would always say. Music is inspiring, and there is always a message in the music you are putting out there. That is also another way of reaching out to people with the good news of salvation, with the good news about Jesus Christ. For me, I know it's a calling, it is a ministry, and that is what I'm supposed to do. So I've committed my all to this other ministry. I have the Elena Araba Antwi Ministries. We are doing quite a lot out there. So I released my first song in 2019, November 2019.
After the COVID.
After, just before the COVID.
Okay.
So the lyrics and the audio came out, but we couldn't release the video in 2020 because of the COVID. So because who will be singing in Kunimzi anyway?
Well, we are all covering our nose and mouth.
Yes, so we had to delay until 2020, June thereabout. Yeah. And we have we in all, we should have about 8 by the time we'll be releasing
in October.
The albums.
She wants all mothers to know it is very possible to give up. So is it possible to persevere?
I'm glad to be a mother. It's a privilege to be a mother. And I would say that mothers go through a lot. We multitask. At one point, you are wearing the hat of a career woman. At another point, you are wearing the hat of a ministry person. At another point, you are a scholar. We are all around. We come home and we are in the kitchen. Sometimes, even out of your tiredness, you are in the kitchen cooking, just trying to put food there or get something for the family too. But what I'll say to mothers out there, whatever you are experiencing is a reality. There are times we all do fail. There are times we all do make it. We chalk successes. We are profound of your strengths, and we are happy you are going through whatever. But don't give up. You are not the only one experiencing that. I believe that with purpose and with focus and by the grace of God, we'll be able to pull through. And tomorrow you'll be sharing your story just like I'm doing.
Again, she urges mothers to take the intentional step of understanding their children, as that can greatly help avoid surprises.
So as mothers, we also find ourselves as mentors to our children. Mostly they are very close to us and they pick up a lot of things from us. But we have to pay attention, especially to them between the ages of 5 and 12 years. That is when they pick a lot of habits outside and from home. Today's children are different. They know what you want. So they would come and put up the attitude that you would want to see in the house. And then when they leave the house, they put up a different a different one. So, for instance, they know that I love gospel music. So it's basically studying them and identifying their strengths and their weaknesses. If you find out that they are strengths, you help your children build on those strengths. If there are weaknesses, believe you me, there are weaknesses you don't even have to let the other sibling know.
Okay.
Sometimes, for some people, if the other sibling knows that, oh, she's not good in this area, that's the end. The child is not able to. So sometimes you can do the one-on-one and be open-minded. The Gen Zs are different from our generation. Be reading. I read. Sometimes, how do I, like we're talking about the home remedies.
Yeah.
You Google, you read. How do I handle this situation? That you always say that he sees that I'm very close to the senior one. She's a girl. It's your shaming to me.
Yeah.
Like we chat.
That's
Okay. We chat. We discuss a lot of things. We want to know your friends. Last vacation, because she's in SHS, we gave her the opportunity to bring a friend home. Said, oh, my friend was passing by and he decided to. Said,
just passing
might
by.
have been a pre-arranged
Of
thing.
course, can't just
But,
be passing
he
by.
came because
That's
my
nice.
parents would do it.
Yeah.
Bring your friends home.
Yeah.
We want to know who your friends are. We
that's
want
true.
to know their parents.
That's
we want
true.
to know a little background about your friends,
Very
and then
important.
we can advise, and we'll teach them. Of course, the Word of God says you teach them the right way to go. You catch them young, and then you do not spare them. You teach them the right way. So a bit of that as well. In fact, it has been about your spiritual growth. You have to do the quiet time. You have to do the family devotion with us. And then we teach you the right thing, paying attention to their academics, homework and all that. Sometimes, or most of the time, it is their father who takes them through their homework. It's when he's not around that I have to come in and then support. But even when he's away, I'll take a snapshot of the homework, and because we want his endorsement before we send it. And then it's been, don't do this, do it that way. But we basically also feel that we must leave the children to explore. I believe in that. And then you guide them. Once a while, you find a child who is very reserved. You try to find out why that child is reserved. At first, we think that, oh, reserved children are the good ones. But you realize that the child grows up and academically is not. So you have to be an all-rounded person as a mother. Pay attention to their academics, their temperaments, their strengths, their weaknesses, and it's a matter of guiding them.
Her husband and children are so proud of her.
She's been very supportive, and I mean that is her nature, that's her character. She's always there to provide the needed support that every husband would require or would look out for from a wife. She ensures that the house is peaceful, and she's been a wonderful mother. I remember when I was away for my studies, she stood and then took charge as a mother would do, to take care of the kids and to ensure that the house was peaceful and quiet, to also allow me the chance to concentrate and then do all that. So I love her. And I believe all the kids also love her, and we can only wish her more blessings.
I love my mother because she takes care of me, and then she always disciplines me and teaches me the right thing. Mommy, I love you.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.